right, so the whole lesson today is finding the area of triangles. Normally when we find the area of a triangle, we use the formula 1/2 base height. And that's really great when you know the base and the height. What we're going to see today is that the triangle questions, let me scroll down, don't give you the height. They are going to give us two sides and an angle measurement. So we actually will be able to, this is the formula we're going to learn, but I want to teach you why that formula exists in the little warm-up we have at the top. You will not have to be able to derive this formula and like figure it out like I'm about to, but you will have to memorize it. So it says, suppose you want to find the area of triangle ABC, but you only know the measure of angle A and the lengths of B and C. We can use the sine ratio to find the length of H in terms of A and C. So, if we know this angle, let's just say it's, I don't know, 35 degrees or something. If you know this angle, you could take the sine of this angle, which I'm just going to use sine of A instead of the number 35. Sine, if you recall, is our so that's opposite over hypotenuse. So that would be H, which is our opposite over our hypotenuse, which is C. And then we're going to solve this for H. What would I do to both sides to solve for H? Marquise? Good, you see division of C, so you would multiply by C. So that tells me that the height of my triangle is C times sine A. So now I know the base of the triangle is B. I now know the height is this. So I can use the area of a triangle formula, which is normally 1/2 base height. Let's substitute in this whole stuff for H. So we'll get that the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 BC times sine A. This is all multiplication. And you'll notice that this is the formula right below. So this is a formula you can use to find the area of a triangle, but in order to use this formula, you have to be given a side length. You have to be given an included angle and another side. So they call this SAS because you're given a side, an included angle, and another side. Otherwise, the formula doesn't work. Okay. Also, please be aware that you cannot use Pythagorean theorem to find the third side. Why not? You don't know they're right triangles. Okay? So make sure you don't use Pythagorean theorem when you're not allowed to. So this is a formula that you're going to want to memorize. And it's basically just that you take 1/2 times the two sides times the sine of the angle. You don't really have to memorize the letters because the letters are going to change in every problem. But so for this one, find the area to the nearest tenth. So again, we're going to use our 1/2 BC times sine A. We'll let this be B, this be C, and this be our angle A. And then you basically just plug in your formula. So 1/2 times 11 times 6 times sine 57. And then you can type that all in your calculator just so you don't have to round anything. We will round to the nearest tenth. Make sure you're in degree mode. I put too many ones. We should get 27.676, so that'll be 27.7. Units are square meters. Next one, same thing. We do have, and you always want to check that you do have SAS, because if you don't have SAS, you can't use the formula. You have to use your regular 1/2 base height. So this one does work. So we'll have 1/2 times our side length, and the sine of the angle. So 104 times 226 times sine of 40 degrees. What do we get when we round that to the nearest tenth? Something big. These are big numbers. 90? Point zero? Yep. All right, since these are a little bit too easy, I kind of want to make the next one a little bit harder. All right, scribble out the 412. Brett?
Like on the last question,
Oh,
if
yep.
on the test we put the 7,554 would lose, like meters squared, would lose point.
I probably wouldn't, Margot.
Okay.
All right, so scribble off the 412, and also scribble out find the area. I'm going to give you the area, and then we're going to work backwards to find the other measurement, which we just scribbled out, so you kind of know what the answer is going to be, but we're going to show our work to get it. So I'm going to tell you that the area of this plot of land is 75,183.9 square feet. And let's just call this, I don't know, B. Find the length of B. Because there's one like this in your homework, and I just realized there's not any like this in the notes. So we're going to use the formula like we learned on the front because we do have SAS. So the area of the triangle is our 1/2 BC times sine A. And we're going to plug the area in on the left-hand side this time. Now, since this answer I rounded, there's a chance that we might not get exactly 412, but we'll see how close we get with the rounded answer. Plug in our other variables, so we have 1/2. We'll leave B as our unknown since that's this. C is 386. And we'll have sine of 71. See if you guys can solve that out for B using your algebra skills. We'll round our final answer this time to the nearest whole number. So hopefully we get an answer. Algebraically, you have options, but remember that multiplication is commutative, so you can change the order in which you multiply. So I would probably just go ahead and take half of 386, which got me 193. Times B times sine 71. And now we see all multiplication. The inverse of multiplying is dividing. Now it's up to you whether you want to divide by this first and then sine 71. You can divide by both of them at the same time, but you'll have to group them. So you have to put them in parentheses if you want to do both. To get you what B is. So again, you'd have to put parentheses, otherwise it's just going to divide by the one number and not the other one. So we'd have 193 times sine 71. Then you actually have to close the parentheses 2 times. It really won't matter since it's the end of the problem. We should get 412.00, which would be 412. So just using some algebra to work backwards and find a side length. All right, see if you guys can try the 2 closures while I'm passing out your homework.
We're graphing sine to sine.